My dear friends, I hope today brings you peace and strength. Let me ask you something. If you could take just 5 supplements to protect your brain, your energy, and your long-term health, would you know which ones to choose? Most people don't. They spend hundreds of dollars on multivitamins that don't work. Or they skip supplements altogether, not realizing how much their mind and body are silently struggling without them. But today, that changes. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 powerful supplements that I believe everyone over 40 should at least consider, based on science, clinical experience, and what your body truly needs as it ages. We'll explore the real reason magnesium can calm your nerves and sharpen your mind, the shocking link between vitamin D deficiency and cognitive decline, what choline does for your memory and why most people don't get enough, and the fact that literally builds your brain and how to get more of it. But before we dive in, let me know in the comments. Are you currently taking any supplements? And if so, which one has helped you the most? Your answer might help someone else reading today. Now, let's get started and explore the nutrients that could change the way you feel, think, and age. Magnesium glycinate, the calm your brain craves. Not all forms of magnesium are created equal, and magnesium glycinate stands out as one of the most effective for the nervous system and mental clarity. Unlike cheaper forms like magnesium oxide, glycinate is highly bioavailable and gentle on the digestive system. More importantly, the glycine component itself acts as a neurotransmitter, helping calm excessive brain activity, reduce anxiety, and improve sleep quality. Studies have shown that magnesium glycinate can lower cortisol levels in chronically stressed individuals, improve deep sleep architecture, especially in older adults, reduce restless thoughts and nighttime wakefulness, support a more balanced mood in those with mild depression or anxiety. If your mind is always on, racing at night, hard to shut down, magnesium glycinate may be exactly what your brain has been waiting for. Choline. Memory starts here. If there's one nutrient that directly fuels your brain's ability to think, learn, and remember, it's choline. Choline is the precursor to acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter responsible for memory formation, attention, and overall cognitive performance. It's also essential for maintaining the structural integrity of brain cell membranes, especially in areas like the hippocampus. Low choline intake has been associated with brain fog, poor memory recall, cognitive decline in aging adults, and even developmental issues during pregnancy. Yet many people don't get enough choline, especially those on low-fat or plant-based diets. Best food sources include egg yolks, liver, grass-fed beef, salmon. Supplementation with alpha-GPC or CDP choline has also shown benefits for those needing targeted cognitive support. Simply put, without choline, your brain can't communicate. With it, memory flows like a signal that finally gets through. Vitamin D. It's not just a vitamin, it's a hormone. It's time to stop calling vitamin D a vitamin. Because biologically, it functions more like a hormone, regulating hundreds of genes throughout the body and especially in the brain. When your skin is exposed to sunlight, it produces cholecalciferol, which is then converted in the liver and kidneys into calcitriol, the active form of vitamin D. This hormone binds to receptors in your brain where it affects neurotransmitter production, neuroinflammation control, neurogenesis, the growth of new brain cells, and even the expression of genes related to cognition and mood. Low hormone D is linked to depression, cognitive decline, slower reaction time, increased risk of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. This is more than a bone health issue. This is central to mental performance and emotional balance. And the worst part? Most people think their levels are fine until it's too late. A simple blood test can reveal your levels. For brain health, many functional practitioners recommend aiming for 40 to 60 ng/ml, sometimes higher in older adults or those with autoimmune conditions. Because when hormone D is optimized, your brain is safer, sharper, and more resilient. We'll explore a controversial but fascinating topic. Do multivitamins actually help your brain, or are they just expensive placebos? Let's find out. Supplements vs whole foods. What really nourishes your brain? In a world overflowing with pills and powders, it's easy to believe that health comes in a bottle. Walk into any pharmacy or grocery store today, and you'll find shelf after shelf of multivitamins, cognitive boosters, and brain health formulas, all promising sharper memory, faster thinking, and better mood. But the truth is more complex. Because when it comes to true nourishment, not all sources are created equal. The problem with generic multivitamins. Let's start with the basics. Most over-the-counter multivitamins are made with synthetic forms of nutrients. They're mass-produced, low-cost, and often poorly absorbed. In fact, many of these vitamins, especially B12 as cyanocobalamin, vitamin E as D-lopha-tocopherol, and magnesium as oxide, are biologically inactive, meaning your body struggles to use them efficiently. They may show up on a label, but that doesn't mean they're reaching your brain or doing their job. A study published in JAMA Internal Medicine followed over 38,000 women for nearly 20 years. It found that multivitamin use was not associated with lower risk of chronic disease or mortality, and in some cases, was linked to slightly higher risk when used long-term without professional guidance. Why? Because nutrition is not just about quantity. It's about bioavailability, how well your body can recognize, absorb, and use the nutrients you consume. And that's where whole foods hold the advantage. The power of nutrient-dense foods. When you eat a whole food, like wild salmon, leafy greens, walnuts, or blueberries, you're not just getting isolated vitamins. You're getting a matrix of compounds. Enzymes, fiber, phytonutrients, antioxidants, cofactors, all working together in the precise ratios nature designed to deliver information to your cells. Let's take vitamin C as an example. In a synthetic pill, you get ascorbic acid. But in a whole orange, you get ascorbic acid plus bioflavonoids, potassium, natural sugars, fiber, and water, all of which enhance absorption and utilization. Your body knows how to use food. It has evolved for it. This is why nutrients from food are often more effective, even in smaller doses, than larger amounts from synthetic supplements. A practical example, brain support. Compare these two scenarios. Person A takes a once-daily multivitamin from the drugstore. It contains 400 IU of synthetic vitamin D, 100 milligrams of magnesium oxide, and 10 milligrams of synthetic B6. Person B eats a breakfast with 2 eggs, choline B12, omega-3 south, a handful of walnuts, alpha-lipoic acid, magnesium, vitamin E, and sits by the window for 20 minutes of morning sun, vitamin D synthesis. Which brain do you think is better nourished? Person A has numbers on a label. Person B has living nutrients, delivered in a form the body understands and integrates. Are supplements ever useful? Yes, absolutely. Especially in the modern world, where food quality has declined, and stress, aging, medications, and poor digestion can all interfere with absorption. But supplements should be targeted, high quality, and based on actual needs, not just taken blindly. For example, vitamin D3 with K2 in winter months, magnesium glycinate or threonate for stress and sleep, creatine for energy and cognitive support, omega-3 from fish oil for inflammation and brain function. These have strong evidence behind them. But, again, they should supplement a healthy diet, not replace it. The takeaway: you can't out-supplement a poor lifestyle. And you can't expect a capsule to compensate for lack of sleep, poor diet, or chronic stress. Real nourishment begins with real food. Whole, alive, that's what your brain recognizes. That's what your cells respond to. And that's what builds a foundation for long-term health from the inside out. Up next, let's explore a strategy that's generated both controversy and excitement in the world of longevity and brain science. The ketogenic diet and how entering ketosis may affect memory, mental clarity, and even life expectancy. Let me pause for just a moment and ask you something. Are you finding this helpful so far? If so, let me know in the comments. Just write, yes, this is helping me, so I know this kind of content is making a difference in your life. And if you're learning something new today, I invite you to like this video, and maybe even share it with someone you love. Someone who could benefit from clearer thinking, more energy, and better long-term health. Because this isn't just about supplements or science. It's about protecting your future, one small choice at a time. Now, let's keep going and explore one of the most talked about and often misunderstood tools for brain health and longevity, the ketogenic diet. The superfoods that feed your brain. Let's step away from lab results for a moment and come back to something much simpler and much more powerful. Food. Because sometimes, the most effective way to protect and support your brain isn't with a supplement or a protocol. It's with what you put on your plate every single day. Here are 6 of the most research-backed, nutrient-rich, and brain-loving foods you can eat. 1. Wild salmon. Rich in EPA and DHA, 2 powerful omega-3 fatty acids, wild salmon reduces inflammation in the brain, supports cell membrane integrity, and enhances neurotransmitter function. Studies show regular consumption improves memory, processing speed, and mood stability, especially in older adults. 2. Grass-fed beef. Often misunderstood, beef from grass-fed sources provides heme iron, zinc, B12, and creatine, all essential for brain energy and oxygen transport. It also supports the production of dopamine and serotonin, helping regulate mood and motivation. 3. Avocados. Loaded with monounsaturated fats, avocados improve blood flow to the brain and reduce oxidative stress. They're also a natural source of lutein, an antioxidant shown to enhance cognitive performance, particularly in tasks involving attention. 4. Blueberries. Small but powerful. Blueberries are rich in anthocyanins, compounds that reduce inflammation and protect the brain from oxidative damage. Regular consumption has been linked to slower cognitive aging and improved memory recall. 5. Turmeric. This golden spice contains curcumin, a potent anti-inflammatory compound that can cross the blood-brain barrier. Curcumin has been shown in clinical trials to improve attention and working memory, especially in older adults, and may help delay cognitive decline. 6. Eggs. Often feared in outdated nutrition advice, eggs are in fact one of the most complete brain foods. They provide choline, a nutrient essential for acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter responsible for learning and memory. Egg yolks also contain lutein and B vitamins, making them a powerful ally for cognitive performance. What all of these foods have in common is this. They're dense in real nutrients, not synthetic, not isolated, but complete, complex, and alive, the way nature intended. Eating these foods consistently can reduce oxidative stress, calm inflammation, and provide the raw materials your brain needs to repair, grow, and thrive. And one of the most important nutrients they deliver, especially from wild salmon, is the focus of our next section: omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids, nature's brain medicine. There's a reason omega-3 South are mentioned in nearly every conversation about brain health. Because these essential fats are not optional. They are structural, built directly into the very tissue of your brain. Nearly 60% of your brain is fat, and a large portion of that is made up of docosahexaenoic acid, a specific omega-3. That's critical for neuronal function, cell membrane flexibility, and healthy brain signaling. Without enough DHA and EPA, your brain becomes more vulnerable to inflammation, oxidative damage, and age-related decline. Mental health and mood. Multiple studies have found that higher omega-3 intake is associated with lower rates of depression and anxiety. In clinical trials, omega-3 supplementation, particularly with higher EPA content, has improved mood in individuals with major depressive disorder. And in children with ADHD and adults with cognitive fatigue, omega-3 have shown benefits in attention span, memory recall, and emotional regulation. Aging and longevity. A study published in Neurology followed over 2,000 older adults and found that those with the highest levels of omega-3 in their blood had larger brain volumes and better cognitive scores than those with lower levels. In another long-term cohort, people with higher omega-3 intake lived an average of 2.2 years longer and had a 20% lower risk of dying from any cause. This isn't just about memory. It's about the quality and duration of life. Supplementation. vs. diet. Now, can you get omega-3 from supplements? Yes, and in some cases, especially for those who don't eat fish, it's necessary. But the most effective form of omega-3 comes from cold water fatty fish, like wild salmon, sardines, and mackerel. These sources provide EPA and DHA in their natural, bioavailable form, along with selenium, astaxanthin, and other cofactors that enhance absorption. Supplements can help, but they're not a replacement for food. They're a tool, a support, not the foundation. So remember this, your brain is made of fat. Feed it the right kind. The choices you make today, what you eat, what you absorb, and what you avoid, can shape how clearly you think, how well you age, and how long you live with clarity and independence. Up next, we'll explore the final takeaways and how to put all this knowledge into daily practice. So now you know, there are no magic pills, no single fix. But there is a path made of small daily choices. Replenishing vitamin D, fueling your brain with omega-3s, or simply choosing wild salmon over processed snacks. These choices don't just feed your body. They protect your memory, they sharpen your mind, and they create resilience, one cell, one meal, one moment at a time, because aging doesn't have to mean decline. Not if you nourish your brain the way it was designed to be nourished. You don't need to do it all at once. Start with one shift, one habit, one upgrade to your nutrition, and let your brain show you what it's capable of when it finally has the fuel it's been waiting for. If this video helped you today, let me know in the comments. I read each one personally. Write, "I'm ready to protect my brain," or share your favorite takeaway. And if you'd like more videos like this on brain health, longevity, and natural healing, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this with someone you love. Because health is not just something we protect for ourselves, it's something we pass forward. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.